Yeah, what's up, everyone? Score First Sports. Just wanted to share a couple of my thoughts on the Philadelphia Eagles. If you don't know, I'm an Eagles fan. I've been an Eagles fan for a long time. Donovan McNabb is my favorite football player ever. Um, and, with the recent injury to Carson Wentz, which, first I want to say I hope that he recovers as short as possible, as smooth as possible, and everything works out great, and he ends up coming back, as good or better than ever. And I want to thank him for the great season he's given us so far. But I just want to say, like, everything's gonna be okay. I'm making a video too about Wentz's timetable realistically, but everything's gonna be okay. Like, I have a couple friends of mine too that they're really diehard Eagles fans. Also, one of them brought up like, I don't understand how you could be so calm through this. And we have a very, very emotional fan base. Okay, like a lot of people hate Eagles fans for how crazy they can be with their emotions and stuff like that. But my thing is, we've been teased so many times. The Philadelphia Eagles fans have been teased so much. Four straight NFC championships just to only win one. And then when we won that one, we lost the Super Bowl. All the years with McNabb, like where, it seemed like we had a Super Bowl team. After we went to the Super Bowl, it was like the next year, man, like we should probably be able to go back. But then all the drama happened with T.O. and McNabb and everything. The year we had the Dream Team, I mean, who the heck did we have on the roster? Like everybody that was in the Pro Bowl, like in 2009, 2010, whatever. I mean, we had people on the roster like Michael Vick, McNabb. We had Vince Young as a backup quarterback. We had the defense all stacked up. Like we had done a whole bunch of free agent signings. It was like that Dream Team year where there was the lockout and everything, and it was like a very weird NFL season. But we've had times like this where it seemed like we're the best, and like clear cut. No matter how much anybody else wants to say, oh, you guys have no Super Bowls. Oh, you guys aren't that good. Like aren't as good as you think you are. Realistically, like it happens every once in a while. Like this year, for example, where deep down everybody knows, dang, they're pretty good. You guys are pretty good. And realistically, this is a legitimate Super Bowl contender that should be playing in the game at least. If they don't win, they will probably be there. And they have a very balanced team. Like nobody can trash the defense. Who's one of the top in the league in interceptions, who's one of the top in the league in sacks, one of the top overall, best, rushing defense. The offense, we have like running backs that, can average 4 or 5 yards a carry at will. We can run for 100, 150, 200 yards a game if we really, really wanted to pound the rock 30, 40 times a game. And then, Carson Wentz was just going off, having an MVP-like season, as everybody likes to say. And, with that kind of balance, Wentz is huge. Like, a huge part of the defense's success is the fact that Wentz isn't turning it over a lot, okay? He's converting it on third down a lot. It keeps the ball moving. We control the clock like crazy. Like, on paper and to the untrained eye, people think that Rams game was close this past Sunday. It was not close. The Eagles dominated them. They got like double the amount of yards as them. They held the ball like twice as long as them, okay? If it wasn't for, a couple big plays by Gurley and Kupp, which were like 50-yard plays or something like that, the Rams would have probably had barely 100-something yards of total offense, realistically. That interception in the beginning of the game, and then that kicked the fumble block, or pump block, I should say, the pump block, that both of those resulted in scores, like very short yardage scores, so no yardage at all needed on that pump block. That's 14 points right there. Like, if you take that out, the Eagles would have won by double digits so easily. Anyways, though, you know, that's just me making the point that we have a great team, and this doesn't faze me. Like this tease of a season, Wentz is great. Like I said, it's gonna be an impact, but I'm still gonna believe in the team. I'm not gonna freak out. I think with the running game that we have and the defense that we have, we can't go to the Super Bowl. If you look at the NFC as a whole, I mean, dude, the Seahawks are all over the place. I know they just beat us, but like that game too, if you really dissect it, they didn't like manhandle the Eagles. If you dissect it, if you look at the numbers and everything, if you look at it play by play, it was more like the Eagles beat themselves. But clearly, like it's not like they were, that much of a threat. I would probably out of 10 games, the Seahawks would probably win a few. I pick Eagles 7 out of 10 games, with Wentz. Maybe now it'd be a little more even, but. The Seahawks, they're a little bit of a mess. Russell Wilson's amazing, though. I'll give him that. The Panthers, Cam Newton's one of those guys that, like the Brett Favre type, where it's like, he's either gonna put up or put down the team like bad, and that's because he's either gonna score like 4 touchdowns or throw 4 interceptions or like get 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles. Like the guy's so aggressive. And like he's such a vicious attacker that like it's like those boxers that when they go in and they're very aggressive fighters, like they open themselves up to be counterpunched and knocked out easier. That's how Cam Newton plays football, man. I mean, the dude's aggressive and he's a beast. Like, don't get me wrong, like he's a really good quarterback, but I wish he was our backup right now. But realistically though, I mean that's a huge flaw. Like where if he has one of those games, which is more often than people realize, where he makes a lot of mistakes, the Panthers aren't that hard to beat. I mean, that's pretty much how we beat them earlier in the year, was because of his mistakes. But you got them. If the Packers somehow slide in, they don't even have Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers would play anyway. Like, he had a broken collarbone. Like, that's not something that you just like a few weeks later start playing football again. And I know it's been a couple months, but I really don't think he would play. And I don't even think the Packers are even going to make it anyways. At this rate, I think the 2 wildcard teams will most likely be either the Panthers or Saints, and then the Rams or Seahawks. So those are going to be the 2 teams. We can beat the Rams. Goff is overrated. The Rams are overrated. And we could beat the Seahawks or Rams. Like, realistically, they're not all that much better. We would definitely have to run way more on them. We'd have to run way more on anybody we play now, I feel. But that's not a problem. We have 2 amazing running backs in Blunt and Ajayi. I think Blunt's an underrated running back, and he's one of the best in the league. He's actually been one of my favorites over the years, and I've been, like, anytime he never got, like, a legitimate chance with the team, I would get so mad. But anytime he did get a really good chance, like when he was with the Bucks for a little while, I mean, he was their best runner hands down. Like, he's the best runner they've had in the last like decade. Then you have him with the Patriots last year. That was awesome. Ajayi, he's good. Saw what he did last year. Saw what he's doing this year with Philly and everything. So we got the running backs. The defense is gonna step up. The defense, people they talk so much crap about our defense. Even like the Eagles fans, because they're so dramatic and emotional. Oh my God, our corners are getting blown out. It's like, dude, of course we're gonna give up a lot of passing yards because we are up on people a lot. Like, even last year, there were times where we were up on people a lot, and you can't just contain people, the entire game, consistently every single week. Even the greatest defenses will crack for a couple plays, especially in this league where teams are averaging 20-something points a game, no problem. So, we have all that going for us. We have an amazing kicker. Overall, the team's good, man. We overcame so many injuries this year on the offense and defense already. People thought, Peters is out, we're screwed. No, we're good. The whole team is very, very great. Last year too. Honestly, if it wasn't for Wentz being a rookie and him getting used to the slightly faster pace of the game and like learning the new offense. I mean, the dude was thrown in there week 1 of the regular season. And, it's his first time having like, oh my god, this is my career job. All that pressure of him having a job and like, wow, this is my job now. And like, if I play bad, I won't be a quarterback. What the heck am I gonna do for my future? As a young guy. Once he settled in, we saw what he was able to do this year. Okay. So, the line's good. We have depth. We have depth in every position. Hopefully Foles comes through. Now, I don't like Foles. Even when he was on the team before, I said, like, man, this guy's not that good. But can he do enough? Certainly. And I think we'll see it. Like I said, the Eagles have been through way too much. For this to be like, oh my god, now like the Eagles are over. Nah, man. If you look at the Eagles' history, the Eagles have been through a lot worse. Okay, there are things that have just been just as devastating, man. Like, and things that are just very near to it. But everything will be all right. We started off strong this season. I think it'll end up very strong. No matter what, it was a great season. I'd rather have a playoff team than a non-playoff team, no matter the circumstances. I'd rather say, to the people that like making the Super Bowl arguments, hey, that's cool. You were very rich before, but now you're poor. Literally, if your team won a couple Super Bowls back in the day, but this is to show me what you've done lately game. And if lately your team has not been winning Super Bowls and your team has not been going to the playoffs, then your team right now isn't that good, man. You can glorify the past all you want. But anyways, that's all I got to say about, the Eagles still having a chance. Eagles fans, do not give up or lose hope. It's going to be no different than all those times where, we were hyped up before. But we're in a good position now overall as a team. I think this is the most well-balanced team the Eagles have had, though, honestly, in all the years. Of course anything is arguable, but if it's not better than any of the teams we had in the NFC Championships before, and everything, it's pretty freaking close. And I think right now that's still good enough to make a Super Bowl run. But yeah, if you liked anything I had to say, please like, please subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all next time.